How much do you think you're worth? Serious question. Hey, Cece Cheney here, and I just finished watching an incredible interview with Jessica Higdon and Les Brown as a part of the Money Mindset Masters series that they've been doing for these. Started yesterday. It's a 3-day series, and I have so many notes, and I'm not going to share them all with you, but I wanted to share some of my highlights from Les's interview because I thought it was really powerful. He talked a lot about obviously our money mindset, but he talked about it from the distinction of our self worth, which I thought was really powerful. One of my very first things I wrote down is you will never earn more than your self worth. You will never earn more than you think that you're valued at. And I thought that that was like a ding, ding, ding. Yeah, right. That's why it's so important that we, work on these things. So I've got my notes here. I'm just going to share some of them with you from this talk. One of the things that he said that I thought was really good is he said the key to creating wealth is to learn to live out of your imagination instead of your circumstances. He said you need to restructure your vision of yourself rather than living out your history, right? And I think that this was really powerful because I think this is common, right? We all have these ideas of who we are and what we can become. And we have this vision of what that can look like. And sometimes that vision is here, but we have the choice to expand that vision and to show up in life bigger than that, right? But we have to be intentional about that. So, Les was sharing his story, and, he grew up in poverty. In school, he was labeled as mentally retarded. And now here he is with this global education brand, right? But he was intentional about his vision for himself, right? And so that's what he was really talking about. I felt like this one really resonated with me because for the past week or so, a lot of my mentors have been talking about the importance of vision, right? And so I've been doing all of these activities and really thinking about that and really crafting my vision and who I want to become and what that looks like. And that's something that you'll want to make sure that you want to do, especially if you have really big goals. Now, if you are fine with, living out your history as he described it, well then, hey, this is going to be really easy for you. You don't have much work to do. But if you don't want to keep repeating your history and you want to expand your vision of who you can become and what you can have in this world, well, then you're going to want to keep listening, right? So Les said, there's some questions that you should be asking yourself so that you can start to expand your vision. Because that was the part of it that I thought was really interesting. He said that's the change that needs to happen. It has to be in the vision. What you can envision is what you can actually create. But what sorts of things should I be doing? What sorts of changes should I be making? So the very first question he said was, what radical change must I engage in to expand my vision for myself? Right? And so I think sometimes we want the easy way out in life, right? Like sometimes it's just easier to not have to make a radical change, right? That might even make you a little bit uncomfortable, the idea of a radical change. But as you up level, you will notice that you are changing. You're not the same person that you were, right? And that's an important part of the process. So you want to start asking yourself questions that get you to that answer. So some of those other questions you might ask are, how am I using my time? Right? So if you were to do a little bit of a self-assessment, and you might even want to pull out some pen and paper later and actually answer some of these questions for yourself. But how are you using your time? Are you using your time effectively? Here we are on social media. So many of us are scrolling all day long, and that's time that we could be using for other things if we've got those types of goals, right? And as a coach, I've had so many calls with people who say, I'm just so busy, I just don't have so much time. And when we start to unpack what's really going on, it's that sometimes we're not using our time effectively. We're doing activities that make us look busy, but we're not doing activities that are actually productive towards our goals. So really assessing where you are with your time is a powerful tool. Number 2, he says you want to work on yourself and ask yourself, what do I need to do now, right? So he was talking about skill development. What skills am I missing to get myself to the next level? And that could be any number of things, right? Maybe you are someone who needs to work on your marketing skills because you have a program that you want to create, but you don't know how to get that message out there. Maybe you're somebody who's not really good with public speaking and you want to be able to engage people in a better way. But starting to really assess what skills you need to help you create the level of success that you want, right? So if you've got this vision, you've got to start asking yourself, okay, well, what can I be doing to improve, right? What's the radical change in my skill level that needs to happen for me to get there? Does that make sense? So that is, the second question. And then the final question, and this is probably one of the harder questions to hear. And if you have to be really honest with yourself with this one. But the third question is, how are my relationships serving me? Right? So are you connected with people who are helping you to become the person that you have this vision of? Right? Or are you having relationships that are emotionally draining, that are taxing, that are toxic, that do not help you become the best version of yourself? Are you connected to people who don't want to see you win? Right? And those are hard conversations to have, but when you do the actual assessment, it can really help you, because he says once you've asked that question, then you can start to upgrade those relationships, right? Then you can look for mentorship. You can look for coaches. You can plug into personal development. You can find, especially in today's day and age, you can hop on YouTube and you can plug into all kinds of content. Les has so much free content on YouTube. He could practically mentor you without you even having to meet him. But really starting to work on upgrading those relationships is the other question that can really help you to start to shape this vision for yourself. So I am going to stop there. I have tons and tons of notes, but I know you don't have all day. Now, he did say if you wanted to develop mental resolve, which is so important as you are working towards your goals, because the reality is life is still going to happen. In fact, as you're trying to up level, you're going to come across more and more speed bumps, right? Just to test you out and make sure you're really serious about that thing. So he said, if you're serious about your vision and you really want to work towards having that mental toughness, then he gave some steps that you can take to start to do that. And if that's something that you would like, some skills that you would like to develop yourself, some information that you'd like, feel free to shoot me a message and I'll send it to you. I won't take up any more of your time. I know I've already been going for a little while now. But if you do want those 3 tips for mental resolve, plus the little activity that he gave to help you get going in that process, shoot me a message and I'll be more than happy to send that your way. Otherwise, I look forward to chatting with you soon. Ciao.